I'm Jensen, and I was diagnosed in March 2018.
I was diagnosed in August 10th, 2016.
Alex here was our first type 1. He was diagnosed about 16 months ago, right after his 3rd birthday. Aria here was diagnosed about 3 weeks ago.
My name is Kelly Johnson, and I am the mother of Jillian and Jacqueline, my beautiful 17-year-old super twins. And I am also the walk chair for the JDRF Walk in the Woodlands.
I'm Lachelle, and this is my husband Leonard, and this is our daughter Callie. And Callie is a type 1 diabetic, and we're kind of here today to share a little bit about our experience with type 1 diabetes and
the no sleep disease.
The no sleep disease, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Cardoza.
And I'm Sophia Cardoza.
And we've been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes since February.
Yeah, and it's awesome!
And my name is Crystal Keller, and I'm Jensen's mom. And this is Tennyson. She's the sister. A little bit about our story. Jensen was diagnosed when he's 5. He's 7 years old now. And he just had some pretty random symptoms. Lots of drinking, lots of urinating. And he was 27 pounds at 5 years old. And first we just thought he was small. And he kind of had a moment where he had to go to the bathroom, and we kind of thought, okay, there's something wrong. He was going probably 35 to 50 times a day. And so we went to a regular pediatrician appointment, and his sugars were right at 1,000. And they immediately took him to the hospital, and he was in the hospital for 8 days.
Hi, my name is Adam, of course, and this is my mom, Katie Rutledge. Today I will be talking about my anniversary and when I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed in August 10th, 2016. I've been diagnosed for 3 years now. I am 10, and yeah, I do my own shots. And the sport I play is soccer, and I'm gonna get a pump soon. And
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Every day for us is numbers, carb-based diets. So diabetes is no joke, especially for parents. It's a 24/7 job on top of a full-time job or a family or anything like that. But it's one of those things where it's your kid and you do what you have to do every single day.
Hi, we are the Hanks. I am Adam. This is Aria, Ava, Alex, and Amber.
Alex here was our first type 1. He was diagnosed about 16 months ago, right after his 3rd birthday. Aria here was diagnosed about 3 weeks ago. It's definitely been a roller coaster in our lives, and we definitely don't sleep much. I think the thing that really gets us through it is that we can still smile and find happiness in small parts of our lives. But they were diagnosed through a study in Colorado, so unfortunately not here in Texas. But we discovered that they had autoantibodies for type 1 before we had or saw any symptoms in them. But I think the biggest thing that we want to share is just watch your kids and notice if something's different, and really push the doctor if they just won't check their blood sugar, because it really is just one poke and just one blood drop to find out if their blood sugar is too high. And the symptoms to watch for are frequent urination, excessive thirst, just being excessively tired, and losing weight. Kiddos really should never lose weight. So when they do, pay attention to that and just really be your child's advocate and make sure that you are doing everything you can to protect them.
We all have some Dexcoms that go to your phone so you can check your blood sugar.
Mhm. And can your friends get type 1 diabetes from you?
No.
No, it's not contagious, right?
One time in the middle of the night, my blood sugar got really, 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 really low. Well, then I think an ambulance came.
Yeah, the ambulance came.
It was in the middle of the night,
It
though,
was the middle of the night.
and it was a long time ago.
But were you okay?
Yeah,
What did the ambulance do? Do you remember? What did the paramedics do? They checked your blood sugar. They checked your blood sugar, and they gave you some really sweet gel. Do you remember that?
yes, I don't like that gel.
Yeah, it doesn't taste very good. You'd much rather have candy for your lows, huh?
Yeah. It's really good to have candy for those.
I know, that's one plus. That's a benefit.
When I first got diabetes, I thought I was the only one in the whole universe who had it, and I've been thinking that for a long time. Because I don't think I know anybody else in my family that has type 1 diabetes. There's people that have type 2 diabetes, like my grandfather, but I'm the only one
with type 1.
Yeah.
But then, have you met other people with type 1 diabetes?
Yeah.
Yeah, how have we met them? We met them through Camp Rainbow, right?
Yeah.
And through JDRF?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you feel now that you know that you're not the only one in the whole universe who has diabetes?
I feel great.
You feel great?
I know if you just if you're lucky, you'll find someone at Chick-fil-A or a restaurant.
That's true. That's happened a couple times, right? And how do you know? Like, how do you know when you found someone else who has type 1? What is it that you're spotting on them?
Well, a Dexcom.
Yeah.
Or just like a big spot right here.
Yeah, for their pump?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you see it? And then you're instant buddies, right?
Yeah.
Because you say, oh, I have one of those too. It's always really fun, right? When you find somebody else who has diabetes. Like, you're not happy to have diabetes, but you're happy that you found a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kelly was diagnosed when you were 9, and Kelly's 13 now.
So when she was first diagnosed, we noticed a few things that were going wrong with her at the time. She was drinking a lot of water and going to the bathroom quite a bit. And over a couple of days, she lost a lot of weight very, very quickly. And Lachelle, whose mom has been a type 1 diabetic since she was 27, mentioned that that's one of the first indicators of diabetes was drinking that water as much as she was drinking. When we did get her to the emergency room, she was well over 600 plus blood sugar count.
I think it was 900. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, it was so high that it didn't register on the test itself. So it was a scary night too. It took us every bit of everything we had. Once we transported her, we went to the emergency room, and the emergency room here in the Woodlands couldn't handle her, so we went in an ambulance all the way to Houston to the emergency room for Memorial Hermann in Houston because they had a pediatric ICU, and that's where she stayed for 3 days while she was in DKA. So it was a traumatic, to say the least. It was the toughest night of my life. Was watching the nurses come in every half an hour, checking her blood sugar, and trying to get in an IV into a vein where she was so dehydrated they couldn't even get the needle into her vein. So it was a really tough night, and it was very touch and go, and I'll never forget it.
Jacqueline was diagnosed when she was 2, and I think about all the advances that have been made in this time period. Jacqueline living with type 1 for 15 years and Jillian living with type 1 for 10 years. And I think about the amount of finger sticks that we have done. I think about giving the 6 to 8 injections daily. I think about the waking up at 2 in the morning, and based on whatever that number was, waking up at 4 in the morning, and then maybe waking up at 6 in the morning. And having twins with type 1 is something that there's no black or white. It's just this gray area, and it's always very different. And it depends on illness, it depends on hormones, it depends on stress, it depends on A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so we are very thankful to have JDRF. We are thankful for the research that is funded, from all the fundraising that everyone has put in this. We're thankful for the advances in technology that is helping their quality of life. And one day, just like Jillian said, we're looking for that cure.
JDRF does a lot for us as diabetics and every other child and person who has diabetes. I mean, they're the ones that are literally helping us get one step closer to finding a cure, and they put on all these galas and walks, and it's all to find a cure for diabetics and for us not to live in pain anymore. So it helps us a lot. They raise all this money to help us find solutions, find easier ways to live with type 1 for as long as we're living with it.
Sometimes there's struggles, sometimes there's not, but we have a huge network, which is why we got into JDRF. Huge network of parents and kids that you get to meet when you go to either Camp Rainbow or you go to Texas Lions Camp when I think you're 8 years old, so you can start. He just went this year. It was amazing. JDRF really brought us in to meet other families. It's huge for us, and getting to meet other kids that have the same thing that he has to deal with every day when none of his friends have it, and things like that. Just, it really helps him, and it helps me too, as a mom.
And whenever I was in school through second and fourth, no one in my school ever had. I was the only one in my school that had diabetes. But now that I go to intermediate Oakcrest, I'm not the only one. There are 2 other 6th graders that have diabetes in my school, and one of them has both of them have pumps. So I've kind of learned from them a bit. That's awesome.
We found the JDRF through kind of a mutual friend dealing with clothes for her. And she actually worked at JDRF, and she had reached out to us and gave me a lot of good information, a lot of education, and really helped me through those first couple of months of our diagnosis. And so we're very blessed to know JDRF and have them in our life. And we can't wait for the walk, right? What's your team? Jensen's Paw Patrol. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
We are thankful for the research that is funded, from all the fundraising that everyone has put in this. We're thankful for the advances in technology that is helping their quality of life. And one day, just like Jillian said, we're looking for that cure. And we're grateful. We're grateful to have a family, and we're meeting that with other type 1 families. And so it brings us all together, and it gives us a support group, and it gives us people who understand what, as parents, is what we're going through, and as what their children, what they're going through with type 1 diabetes. So we're grateful.
When she was first diagnosed, I think that where JDRF comes into this is the fact that they're there for you at the hospital right away. They give you all the resources that we had to go home, and they were with us every day trying to teach us about the disease and what we can do when we get home, and people to reach out with, mentors to reach out. And so things have gotten easier because Callie was doing shots, and now Callie is on an insulin pump. And she also has a G6, which is a continued glucose monitor, which monitors her blood sugar every 5 minutes, which does help us a lot. But this is something that she has to deal with daily. And so we really would love to have a cure for her so she doesn't have to do this her whole entire life and worry about possibly going low or going high, but low is the dangerous one.
And JDRF advocates for all kinds of rights and gets funding for research. Excuse me, and it does a lot to really help children get through it.
Definitely. And you can join us. We are the team Just Cure It, and we'll be doing the walk on November 9th here in the Woodlands, and we're really excited if anybody wants to join us. It's for such a great cause.
So come join us at the JDRF One Walk in the Woodlands, November the 9th at Lone Star Community College. It's a family fun event. There's no admission fee. Please come and join us and join these T1D warriors.
Come walk with us. Yay!